She acted like a perfect wife, until I found her wedding album, and I wasn't the groom. They say there are some moments that freeze time, moments that split your life into a before and an after. For me, that moment was an ordinary Saturday afternoon. My name is Michael Carter. I'm 38, a man who thought he had a perfect life with his wife, Clara, 36, a woman I loved more than anything. We were spring cleaning, laughing, and reminiscing. Clara was out getting groceries, and I was dusting the bookshelf, filled with our shared memories. My hand brushed against a book I didn't recognize, a heavy, leather-bound volume tucked behind a row of cookbooks. My curiosity piqued. I pulled it out. It was a photo album, a wedding album. My stomach dropped. I was expecting to see pictures of us. But I wasn't the groom. She acted like a perfect wife, until I found her wedding album, and I wasn't the groom. My hands, which had been so confidently holding that beautiful, heavy book, suddenly felt weak. The cover was simple, elegant, with a silver filigree design. I opened it, my heart hammering against my ribs. The first page showed a couple. Clara, radiant in a white dress, her smile as bright and beautiful as the day I met her. But the man beside her, he was a stranger. Tall, with dark hair, a kind smile, and a certain look in his eyes, a look of utter devotion. My breath caught in my throat. This wasn't a mistake. These were professional wedding photos. A chapel, a reception hall, a kiss, a first dance. Every photo was a testament to a love story I had never been a part of. A love story that, according to these photos, had been Clara's. And it had happened without me. The shock was a physical thing. It felt like I had been punched in the gut, a sharp, disorienting blow. My world, the one I had built so carefully over the past 7 years with Clara, felt like it was crumbling into dust around me. Who was this man? Why had she never told me? We had no secrets, or so I thought. We had shared everything. Our pasts, our dreams, our fears. She had told me about her college boyfriends, her struggles, her family history. But she had never, not once, mentioned being married before. Never mentioned a wedding, a groom, a photo album hidden away like a shameful secret. My mind raced, trying to find a logical explanation. Maybe it was her sister's album, a friend's. But no, Clara was front and center in every single photo. Her parents, Elaine and Robert, both in their 60s, were there, smiling. Her sister, Sarah, 34, was the maid of honor. It was all so real, so undeniable. My hands trembled as I turned the pages, the glossy photos of a perfect day, a perfect couple, now a horrifying piece of evidence against the perfect life I thought I had. I closed the album and shoved it back into its hiding place, my heart pounding with a mixture of betrayal and panic. The front door opened. Clara's voice, cheerful and melodic, filled the silent apartment. "I'm back, honey. I got the basil you wanted." I tried to compose myself, to put on a mask of normalcy. I walked into the kitchen, my movements stiff, my smile a weak parody of my usual self. She kissed me on the cheek, her lips soft and warm, a gesture that now felt like a cruel deception. "What's wrong, babe? You look a little pale," she said, her green eyes, usually so full of love, now seeming to hold a secret I couldn't comprehend. "Just a little tired," I mumbled, avoiding her gaze. Spring cleaning is hard work. Over the next few days, I became a silent detective in my own home. I watched Clara, every movement, every word, trying to find a crack in the perfect facade. She was still the same Clara I had always known. She cooked my favorite meals, laughed at my jokes, and curled up with me on the couch at night, talking about our future, our plans. The hypocrisy was a physical pain in my chest. How could she live with this? How could she lie so effortlessly? I started digging. I went through old photos of us, trying to find a clue, a hint I had missed. There was nothing. Our life, our 7 years together, was all there, documented and real. So where did this other life fit? I even found an old photo of Clara with her sister, Sarah, and her parents. In the background of one of the photos, on the mantelpiece, I could see a framed picture. It was the same man from the wedding album. The stranger, the other husband. My heart sank. This wasn't a brief fling, a moment of folly. This was a man her family knew. A man she had married. My best friend, David Chen, 38, a pragmatic guy, noticed my change in mood. "You've been quiet lately, Mike. Everything okay?" I wanted to tell him, to pour out the terrifying secret, but the words felt too monstrous to say out loud. "My wife has a hidden wedding album with another man." It sounded like something out of a bad movie, not my life. The need for answers became an obsession. I couldn't confront her without more information. I felt like a stalker in my own relationship. One night, while she was asleep, I took her laptop. My hands were shaking. I felt sick with shame and dread, but I had to know. I went through her old files, her social media, anything I could find. And there, buried deep in a cloud storage folder, I found more. More photos, not just of the wedding, but of their life together. Holidays, dinner parties, just quiet moments on the couch, laughing. They looked so happy, so real. I found his name in the metadata of one of the photos, Liam Peterson. I did a quick online search. There he was, an accomplished architect, living in another state. His profile showed no mention of Clara. No wedding photos, no anniversaries. It was like they had been wiped from his existence. But he was there, in her life, a ghost haunting our home. Then I found an old news article. A car accident. 5 years ago. A drunk driver. Liam Peterson was in the accident. He survived, but the article mentioned he had suffered severe memory loss, a form of amnesia that had erased a large portion of his past. My heart, already in pieces, shattered again. 5 years ago. That was 2 years before I met Clara. Had she left him after the accident? Was I just a rebound? A replacement? The thought was unbearable. I started to piece together the timeline. She met Liam, married him. They had a life. Then the accident happened. He forgot her, forgot their life. And she left him. And 2 years later, she met me. She started a new life, a new beginning, a new love story. She built a new life, a new identity, a new reality, all from the ashes of her old one. A life where she was the perfect wife, the perfect partner. The realization was a punch to the gut. The woman I knew, the woman I loved, wasn't the woman she had presented herself to be. She was a different person, with a past so profound and so heartbreakingly complex that she had chosen to bury it. But why? Why couldn't she tell me? Was she ashamed? Scared? Did she think I wouldn't love her if I knew? I remembered our early days. She was so cautious, so guarded. It took me months to get her to open up, to trust me. I had thought it was just her nature, a defense mechanism from some past hurts. Now, I understood. It was a defense from a past she couldn't tell me about. I looked around our apartment, at the photos of us, at our wedding photos on the wall. They felt fake now. The love in her eyes, the smile on her face. Was it real, or was I just a replacement for the man in that hidden album? Was I just the next chapter, a new love story to fill the void of the old one? I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. The lie was a constant presence, a ghost in our home. I tried to act normal, to go through the motions, but the forced smiles and stilted conversations were a constant torment. She noticed. Michael, talk to me. You've been so distant. Is it something I did? Her concern, once so comforting, now felt like a performance. The perfect wife, trying to fix a problem she had created. I decided to talk to her sister, Sarah. She had been the maid of honor. She must have known. I called her, my voice strained. Sarah, can we talk? I have some questions about Clara's past. She was hesitant, but she agreed. We met for coffee. I didn't know how to start. Sarah, I began, my voice a whisper. I found Clara's old wedding album. The one with Liam. I know about him. I know about the accident. Sarah's face, which had been so kind, went pale. She looked at me with a profound sadness. Oh, Michael, she said, her voice choked with emotion. I'm so sorry. I thought she would have told you by now. She explained it all. The passionate, all-consuming love Clara had for Liam. Their beautiful, happy life together. The tragic accident. Liam's memory loss. He remembered his childhood, his family, but everything from the day he met Clara was gone. He looked at her like a stranger. The doctors said it might be permanent. Clara, heartbroken and shattered, couldn't bear to be a ghost in the life of the man she loved. She couldn't stand to see him look at her with no recognition, no love in his eyes. So she made the most heartbreaking decision of her life. She left. She disappeared from his life, leaving no trace, so he could have a chance to heal, to build a new life without the constant reminder of a love he couldn't remember. And 2 years later, she met me. The weight of a broken heart. The truth was so much more complex than I had imagined. It wasn't a betrayal of love. It was a sacrifice of love. Clara wasn't a liar. She was a broken heart, trying to heal, trying to find happiness again. She hadn't replaced Liam. She had just found a new life, a new love, with me. But the secret, the 7 years of silence. It was still there, a gaping wound in the heart of our marriage. Why couldn't she trust me with her truth? Why couldn't she share her pain with me? When I got home that day, I found Clara sitting on the couch, the same way she had sat so many times, waiting for me. I sat next to her, my heart heavy with the truth. I know, I said, my voice barely a whisper. I know about Liam. I know about the wedding album. Her face crumpled. The perfect mask of a happy wife fell away, revealing the raw, profound pain she had been carrying for years. The tears, once so carefully hidden, flowed freely. She confessed everything, her voice choked with sobs. Her love for Liam, his accident, her impossible choice to leave him, to let him go. She told me she loved me, that her love for me was real, profound, and had healed her broken heart. But the secret had been a wall between us, a barrier I couldn't see, but now could feel. She had lived a lie, not out of malice, but out of a trauma she couldn't share. And that lie, that silent, invisible wall, had now been broken, leaving us both exposed and vulnerable. The days that followed were a blur of raw emotion. We talked for hours, for days, about everything. The wedding album, the photos, the pain of her leaving Liam, the fear that I wouldn't love her if I knew. The more she talked, the more I understood. It wasn't about me being a replacement. It was about her trying to find a new happiness, a new life, a new love. And that love was me. But the trust was broken. The foundation of our relationship, the unshakable belief that we knew everything about each other, was gone. It was a gaping hole in our marriage, a wound that was going to take a long, long time to heal. I looked at the wedding album again, this time with a profound sadness, not anger. It wasn't a testament to a betrayal. It was a testament to a love that was tragically lost, a past she couldn't share. And I, the man who had found her and fallen in love with her, was now tasked with helping her heal from a wound I never knew she had. We were rebuilding our marriage, slowly, painstakingly. We were trying to find our way back to the perfect couple we once were. But the innocence was gone. The perfect illusion was shattered. She acted like a perfect wife, until I found her wedding album. And in that moment of discovery, the truth, so much more complicated and heartbreaking than I could have ever imagined, was finally exposed, leaving us to navigate the painful, messy, and very real aftermath of a life built on a lie. A lie told not out of malice, but out of a love so deep it had broken her.